You know what I don't tolerate? Demon Slayer hate. Why? Because it's a damn good anime, great animation, great story, great characters. There's only one character in that entire anime that I will actually say isn't that good, and it's Zenitsu. And the reason Zenitsu isn't that good is simply because he has this whole thing to where he has to go to sleep in order to use his full power because he's so scared in real life. But the thing is, he's still a demon slayer when he could have just ran away. But the other thing is, when the story goes on to its, climax and whatnot, he faces off against his personal mortal enemy, and he just doesn't have to sleep anymore to, do better and do his attacks. And that's probably like the worst written part about that whole story. But that's not even that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? He's just a little bit of annoying, and that's it. But the actual people who hate Demon Slayer, how? Because I'm gonna say it like this, bro. The people who hate Demon Slayer are the same people who praise My Hero Academia for being like the GOAT of anime. And I'm just gonna say, I like My Hero Academia, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like freaking Deku isn't Ninja Jesus. Not Ninja, that's Naruto, but quirk Jesus in that game. Because at the end of the day, bro, this dude Deku has so many quirks, he better not lose. You know what I mean? So the thing is, the main character for Demon Slayer, Komodo Tanjiro, he has the best breathing style, but he still has to work for it. Every single time he uses that breathing style, it takes so much of his energy to where he almost dies. And there are times to where he genuinely gets lucky to even live another moment. And every time he has slain an upper moon, it's only because his comrades have his back. It's not because some random shonen like, oh yeah, I just got a super power up that allows me to win. No, he gets a super power up, but there's connections with it. His father's dancing style, he is literally a descendant of the Yorichi guy, who is the sun breathing master, the first best. And at the end of the day, he still masters sun breathing, but he has to earn that. And even when he earns it, once again, he cannot just overwhelm his opponents. His sun breathing makes it to where his opponents, the demons that he cuts, have a slower time regenerating sometimes. And it's not even all the whole regeneration aspect, right? So sun breathing mimics the sun in a sense. So it does make it to where some demons actually have a harder time regenerating from the technique being used on them. It makes the regeneration slower, but that's not all demons. Because Akaza, the one who killed, you know who, unfortunately, the boy who said set your heart ablaze, that's my guy. But he regenerated his arm immediately after getting it cut off with a sun breathing technique. It didn't even slow it down really. So at the end of the day, Tanjiro as a main character is damn good. And I know a lot of people are just like, I don't know, some people just must not like swords, like anime that have to do with swords only. Like a lot of people don't like Bleach because everybody uses a sword of some kind. Not everyone, of course, but a lot of them. Zanpakuto come from the swords for the most part. But I don't know who these people are for the most part. It's like Demon Slayer gets a bad rap simply because it has great animation, and people disregard the story and they say if its story isn't as great as its animation, then it's a dog tier show. And honestly, the funny thing is, it doesn't need the animation to be a good show. I mean, to be a good story. Because I read the manga after season 1 ended because I could not wait, bro. That's like My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer are the only two stories where I've read some of the manga to continue where I left off. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't continue with the My Hero because I just didn't care that much. I thought I did, but I really didn't. But when I went to Demon Slayer, I was like, dude, I gotta know where it's at, dude. Went to the site called Manga Lot, and it had the Demon Slayer manga all the way up to like, I don't even remember. Oh, a Promised Neverland too. I'd read that one too. Bro, the anime for Promised Neverland is wild. Like, it's not even good. After season 1, they actually do it dirty. I don't understand why they do that. But whatever. Demon Slayer, I literally read the rest of it. I had to. And when I was reading it, I was honestly going so freaking fast that I felt like I was watching an anime. And honestly, because my brain just works like that too. So I watched season 1, I saw the animation, I saw how they fight, and I just kind of gave that my brain filled in the gaps, right? But on top of that, the author, the actual artist, really did a damn good job at that as well with their own artistry, showing the movements of the sword swings and things of that nature. Like, and then it allowed my brain to piece together the rest. And when I watched the anime, I was like, this is exactly how I imagined it. Like, it was crazy. So yeah, it's not just good animation. But anyways, man, it's like this show gets a bad rap because it has good animation. It gets judged harder because it has good animation. That's crazy. Like I understand it because there are some anime that have good animation, but they're just trash. There's this one I gotta look it up. So it's called Blood Blockade Battlefront. It's an anime that I watched a little bit of once before because in the scene that has seen this regenerator creature quite literally get cut up into pieces and then it literally reformed itself in front of the person who was running away from him. And the music, this little jazzy, nice little cool combo of music and artistry was really cool. But then I found out that the anime was just kind of boring. You know, the character's emotional intelligence was like that of a kid and then that of a mature adult, and it just switched on and off within seconds, and I just really couldn't get into it. It just held me back. Like the animation was good, but this everything else was it really wasn't, you know. So yeah, there are animes like that and there are stories like that, but Demon Slayer is not one of them, dude. They have the story, the animation, and the captivation, the fight scenes. They have everything that you could want. So the fact that people are sitting here trying to say, oh man, Demon Slayer's mid, no it's not. Your opinion is mid, and I'm just going to be honest with you, bro. I'm sorry, but no, you actually need to think about the things that you say before you say them, because that is just highly disrespectful to one of the actual great animes in general. One thing I love about Demon Slayer is the fact that they have demons who actually remember their past, and then they have demons who don't remember their past. So no one character villain is the same. There are characters who had a past that was so traumatic that they actually forgot who they were. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it makes sense because when you actually understand that I can't remember his name, the guy who offed Ring Goku, unfortunately, that guy, it kind of makes sense when you see that Muzan literally just stabs his arm through his head. He probably actually had brain damage that was permanent, regardless of whether or not he intended to do that. The part of the brain where that holds memory, the whole brain was stabbed through. So I'm not gonna lie, there's understanding with these things. So, anyways, but there are demons who have different backstories, and some of them remember, and some of them don't. And then there are demons who, you know, who can be good guys, who actually don't appreciate being a demon. There are people who are forcefully turned into demons. It seems like you don't always have to become a demon by will. Like you don't always have to be a willful to become a demon. There are times to where there are characters Muzan would just force it, you know what I mean? But hey, there's this thing, Demon Slayer is great. It has a good story. And the thing is, any anime that can make you cry, you don't deserve to sit here and say that it's not a good story. Because if you can cry, and as this is coming from a person who doesn't really cry, you know, I don't really cry, honestly. But if the story is sad enough, dude, Demon Slayer makes you feel bad for the villains after they are defeated. There is not one character. There obviously is one character, but there's not one character in the anime so far to where you're just like spitting on their side just because of the disrespect. You just like, I want to disrespect this character. I hate you. You know, they're like every time a demon villain is killed and defeated, their memories start to well up from their past, and they're like, I just wanted some coochie. And then you start crying from them. You're like, I get it, bro. I get it, bro. Now, obviously, that's a joke, but it's a stupid meme. But Demon Slayer is great, dude. And I won't take slander. So that's the video, guys. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you very much for watching. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Um, Life update, man. I'm about to make a video about how getting fired actually fixed my life and put me back on track. That's actually pretty crazy. I never thought I'd say that, but I'm starting to live better and doing better things in my life, man. Been going outside more, playing basketball, getting active, working out, and then not just that, but my finances. I start taking that way more seriously so that I don't, you know, live paycheck to paycheck. Because I make enough to where I shouldn't have to live paycheck to paycheck, and I've actually been taking advantage of that now because back then I wasn't. But hey, I'm going to make that video, guys, and I really want you guys to hear. So if you guys made it this far, thanks for watching once again. This has been Yap It A Lot Gaming, and I am out of here.